Welcome to Barks and
We're
Rec.
recording.
We are recording. Welcome to Barks and Rec. I'm Tara.
I'm Rick.
And I'm Derrick.
Derrick,
And
where are you from?
I was born in Pensacola, Florida.
That's great. What business are you from? I should be more specific.
I own Midwood Barkery. It's a doggy daycare facility, boarding and grooming here in Charlotte.
How long have you owned it? Now.
10 years, April 27th.
Another 10
Nice,
years.
10 years.
You're established, brother.
It's gone by really fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And, like 5 years goes by and then COVID comes and we lose 2.
Oh, right.
Here we are.
Yep.
COVID? I'm not sure I heard of that.
I know.
It's this minor event. Ugh.
So what inspired you to actually start your own boarding and daycare?
So, if I'm giving the professional answer,
We'll take both.
I had a pet sitting business when I was a kid, and I was always an entrepreneur. And when I was 12, I was taking care of most of the neighborhood's dogs. And then I did a lot of things in between there, and it sort of came full circle where I had an opportunity to help someone. And then I had the opportunity to basically one day do it or not do it. And I wanted to take care of animals. And the philosophy was always, if we can just take care of the dogs, then the customers will come. If we can just make sure that we're doing the right thing, we'll be part of the community. That organic growth was always something that I could count on, just because I knew that once we had the trust of the community, and obviously it could have gone the other way, that the rest would be easy. And it for the most part, it has been.
Yeah.
So it's very cool to hear you say that. So when we recorded our first episode with another guest, Felicia from Core Canine, she makes gently cooked foods. She said something very, very similar to that about taking care of the dogs, taking care of the people, doing the right thing.
Sure.
And she's on the newer end of her business, but you've got 10 years, man. You're vested, like you're in. And so to hear that that's your philosophy, I would put that out there for anybody looking to go into any sort of pet business. Like, make that your motto, because that obviously there seems to be a key to success there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the beginning, when it's all you and you're basically pinning business cards to every public park that you can go to, and just hoping that the 3 or 4 dogs that you've got, or the 3 or 4 customers that you've got, turn into 8 and 10 and 12 and 100, and that to me has been the coolest part of owning it, for sure.
Yeah, just growing your business.
Yeah, you do have a good reputation in Charlotte. That is for sure.
And I don't take it for granted. I think I just want to help the people that are around me and the people that I choose to surround myself with, which is mainly people like you who own other dog places. And I get so excited about new things, and I send people here just to be like, oh gosh, you have to try out
Thank you.
their new food that other company went away, but they have this great gently cooked food or whatever it is. I send people to you all the time.
Thank you.
So obviously, you're local to the area, but if somebody is listening, because this show, people can listen anywhere, right? So if there's somebody out, on the other side of the country, and they're looking for a boarding spot, they're looking for somebody in your field, what would you tell them to look for as far as like picking a business that's going to do right by their pets? What would you say that the uninitiated person should be looking for?
Sure. I hate to make it as casual as vibe, but your instinct should lead you to the place that you want to take your dogs. There's plenty of places that I've been into, and they probably were bigger and had more money than I did, and I probably wouldn't take my dogs there based on the feeling of like I would rather that personal attention, and I would rather feel it and I would rather have people I trust to take care of the dogs rather than people who just are companies who might just go on Indeed and hire a bunch of kids to take care of the dogs.
Right.
Like you could pay somebody, you could pay the kids 10, 12, maybe a little less than you'd have to for someone to really care about your dog. But it should be about someone that really cares about the dogs. It shouldn't all be about the money. I've had kids that work for me that they're just out of high school or in college or whatever, and a lot of times those are the best people I find, because it's not about anything else other than the love of animals, and knowing that love of animals comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yep.
It's probably a great way for them to get safe experience or controlled experience, because obviously even in a daycare there is a safety factor there for the dogs and for the people that are there. So I think the people what separates the really good daycares like yourself versus the other ones is that little bit of dog knowledge that you may not be trainers, but you have to recognize dog behavior. You have to recognize what's good, what's bad, and how to take care of the animals. So that's a great way for people to get started too, if they're looking to get experience, whether they stay with you in that, if they go off and they do their own thing, or become trainers or groomers. Groomers to me are the ultimate soldiers in the dog world. They have to put up with.
They are. They're the hardest to find on a solid
good
level.
yeah.
You go through a lot of groomers to find the right people.
Ones. Yep.
I can attest to that. I know Derrick can too. It's just like a certain thing that the groomer has to have, or any person that you want taking care of people's children.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a level of patience, which of course I imagine the people that work for you have to have too, is just that patience to be good to the dogs, to recognize what's going on with them and all that. What would you say is because I would call you a subject matter expert on this. You've been doing this for 10 years. You are a successful business in this. What's the biggest challenge in having your own business like that?
Trial and definitely error. It's not always going to go right.
Yeah.
And yes, I guess you would say dog behavior is predictable, but it's unpredictable if you let it.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, well, you realize the right thing to do, but just after something happens, you're like, well, I shouldn't have done that. Our first episode, we actually had 2 dogs come and dive bomb us, and I'm a trainer that deals with dangerous dogs, and Akitas are I wouldn't ever call them dangerous dogs, but they do have a history. They were used as police dogs in certain areas. Right. And these dogs come up to me, and I went into full on puppy mode. I'm like reaching out for it. I'm like, I'm about to lose my fingers on camera. We had a TikTok going and everything, but yeah, it's
that and like we take some of the dogs that other places might not take.
Yeah.
And only because we realize that we need somewhere to be.
Right.
They need somewhere to be, and PetSmart isn't taking your scary Akita.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right.
So how do you keep it safe? Like, what are the things that you do to make sure everybody's safe?
Sure. So, the play groups are supervised, and there's a ratio of people to dogs, obviously, but we spend a lot of time talking about subtle signs that play group needs to be different, or we need to change up the play group and make it. We want to make sure that we find their best friends, and we spend a lot of time, especially in the beginning of training, talking to our potential employees about dog body language.
Yeah,
and stressing that safety is the most important thing above everything else. We want everyone to have a good time, but let's not overload dogs that may need a minute or may not be able to mix. And let's be honest, like with that, and take that's an honest approach to talking with their parents. Like, maybe this isn't the right place for you. Fortunately, our place, we have the space that they can have a good time and a good day, even if they can't mix with other dogs.
Right.
We want to play with your dog still. But I want to play with you. I want to play with your Akita if it wants to play with me.
I think, and that again is from a training perspective. I see a lot of my clients that come to me. They're like, well, we had this incident at the dog park, and I'm like, yeah, I know you did. You took your dog to a dog park, and obviously you're not a dog park. There's an aspect of that could become very much like a dog park if you had an unsupervised or an area with doggy daycare where you don't have those experts like what you have, and they just let the dogs go free range and they don't recognize that some dogs are not compatible. You can absolutely be developing bad habits. So it's really cool to hear you talk about that and that you guys are recognizing that, because when it's done right, it's the opposite formula. It is now these dogs are learning good social skills, and they can, that the dog that might come in being a little bit nervous, you put them with the right dogs, you put them with the right people monitoring them, and that may be changing their lives for the better in those social cues. So
for sure, and I can't say how many times that we've had an owner that was like, I don't know if this is going to work, and we're like, well, let's give it a day, give it a week, give it a month, because a lot of times you can see that dog come out of its shell, especially if it's just terrifying.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
Be there. It's like the first day of kindergarten, and then a month later, or however long it takes, you see that they've added the word camp in there, and the dog's going nuts in the car trying to get there. That to me is really satisfying for
I bet.
for bringing dogs in, especially.
Yeah, I bet. So, kind of feeding off of what you're saying, what do you want your customer to know about you, or about daycare and boarding and?
Yeah, I will only have the best people that I trust taking care of your dogs, and the second I don't feel that, it's a different scenario with employees. From cameras waking me up in the middle of the night. A lot of times, like, I've got them all on motion, and I'll wake up, and terrified that something might have happened. Oh, the dog
moved.
And I would just like people to know that there's a reason that we've stuck around for so long, and I feel that's a hard-earned thing. I feel like there's a lot of places that maybe they stuck around, but the community is on our side, and I can feel that.
Yeah,
it's definitely a difference between. I know a couple corporate owned versus what you do, and your customer is my customer. It's somebody that
they really are.
They are. I mean, they're very, and same. Yeah. So I mean, I know it's your place is a different caliber compared to a lot of places here in Charlotte.
Thank you.
We all know, yeah.
And we look out for each other.
Absolutely.
I lost a groomer, 2 years ago now, and I sent every one of our grooming clients to Tara.
And then I found him a groomer once to help you. Yeah. Someone's like, let me just help you, and let me just
But the idea is that we're there for each other.
Yeah.
And we always have been.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that would keep us all in business.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's something that Tara and I keep talking about, and we've got our group of friends that we're working with, and just getting together this kind of collaborative group of pet folks that are in it for the right reason. It's only going to help each other's businesses grow, and it's only going to help that pet community, because they're going to see us versus the corporate folks that are just in it for the dollar. And don't get me wrong, I like to eat, obviously, but but I think there's always a way to do both. There's always a way to make the living and to take really good care of your customers. So
absolutely, and I think it extends to other kinds of businesses too, that we all can be part of the community. There's restaurants right around my neighborhood that I love, that I will shamelessly plug on my Instagram, because I know the amount of people. I can see the amount of people that look at our page and our stories and whatnot, and if it can go from me to you to whoever is in the community that we really love, then we can really have a good, solid community of people that 100% have each other's back.
Yep.
And as we're wrapping up, speaking of social media, tell folks where they can follow you, they see what you're doing, hopefully maybe get in touch with you when they have those boarding needs or daycare needs.
Sure. So we are midwoodbarkery.com, and we are Midwood Barkery on Instagram. I'm sure there was a Twitter or whatever it's called now at some point. I have no idea. And you can always find me here at Petting City too.
Just, you want to talk in person?
Eating
just show up.
fresh
He's here.
food.
So I will be
Getting-
right here.
Perfect. Yeah, don't
Buying
go
fresh
anywhere.
food.
So Instagram pretty much is, you say that's the way to get to.
Yeah, give us a call. We also have an app. We're on the Ginger app, and you can not only book spa services on there, but you can, buy packages and book dates for daycare on there as well. So it's mainly Instagram, our app, which is called Ginger for Pet Parents, and our website. And otherwise, just feel free to stop in at Midwood Barkery.
Do you have a phone number they can call?
Sure, you can give us a call. The phone number is 980-395-0498. And I'm sure you can get my personal number right after that. Yeah, a lot of my clients have my personal number because I just don't feel like they should be left without options if they can't
It's
get
nice
hold
of you.
for any reason.
I bet a lot of places don't do that.
It's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
I mean, there needs to be a personal connection with the clients.
Yeah.
Well, and since you made the offer that we could stop in, obviously we've got the podcast end of this, we got the video that goes up on YouTube, but if that's cool with you, maybe we'll schedule to come in real soon, actually see your facility, see some of the dogs that you're working with, and let folks, see where they can send their dogs to be taken care of so well.
That would be fun. That would be really fun.
Awesome.
And, pick a spot on the turf,
Perfect.
let the dogs tackle us.
Yeah.
I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
I'm in.
Maybe we could find a way to rig that up.
Yeah, we'll get it up off the floor. We almost wiped it out for him.
Like a jib.
There you go.
Perfect.
Good.
Awesome. You gonna
Well-
close us out?
Well, goodbye. Thanks for joining
Anyway,
us at
bye.
Parks and Rec.
That was fun.
Thank you, Derrick. We can't wait to see you again.
That was so much fun.
Rick, pleasure as always.
Thank you very much. And good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.